Where is she, Okonkwo? What happened to Rebecca? She is on Lazarus 9. Lazarus 9? An Imperial cryoplanet in the Terminus cluster. Oberon cryoed her as part of Ellis's punishment. But what did she do? She married the original you. That was her crime. Man, this Oberon's a jerk. And does she still live? She's in a cryo facility, you moron. I don't know. The folders, without a machine. I cannot visit her. You loved her, didn't you? Yes, ever since we were kids. And I thought for a time she loved me too. She was unhappy. Ellis was never there for her when she needed him. Yet she continued to love him through it all. Did he not think refusing his orders might hurt her? How could he be so selfish? I don't know what he was thinking. That's why I wanted to kill you, clone. For what Idaho did to her was never anything personal. Where's the old man? You'll find him soon enough. He waits for you, and the machine in his place on Elysium. All day, every day, he sits on his throne, waiting for the prodigal admiral to return. But you won't recognize him when you get there. So much has changed. What are you talking about? He's dying. Impossible. He has immortality tech. He refuses to use it. Some sort of self-inflicted punishment. Oberon's become pathetic, useless. I'm on my own now. I'm the Emperor, and I feel so incapable of the task. So it's true. Oberon never ordered my death, did he? Oberon ordered your death, clone. He ordered me to escort you safely back to the palace if I ever found you. He told me all about Gehenna and the Project Pericles. Project Pericles? That's what he called this carnival of yours. I was told the future of humankind depended on it. Depended on you. He did always prefer Idaho no matter what I did. Even after he executed the original, he still loved him more than me. Not even his clone can fix this. You're too late. We're beyond all hope now. The end is almost here. Finish me, clone. What are you waiting for? Ask if he shut down the Omnis. It was you who shut down the Omnis, wasn't it? You were angry Oberon still preferred Idaho even after his execution, and you vowed to make him pay. No. Though I lived all those years in Idaho's shadow, decades, I would never do anything to cause so much suffering. You forget that Lazarus 9 is run by Omnis too. Unlike Idaho, I would never have done anything to endanger Rebecca. Where's the Master Node Terminal Okonkwo? You think I know where it is? Oberon never trusted me enough to tell me that. I'm not sure he trusted anyone that much. Who do you think reached it? I don't know, clone. We had many enemies. Many people who wanted to see House Talos crumble. What do you know about Earth? I hear about this planet wherever I go. A lost planet. Those are just myths, clone. Nothing more than bedtime stories. You and Idaho were friends, weren't you? Tell me. Friends? No, we were more than that. We were brothers. We met at the academy almost 50 years ago now. We were just kids bursting with pride and love for the Empire. We bonded over that because we were different from the rest. More stubborn. We were going to protect the Empire side by side for the rest of our days. That was the pact we made, and we did just that for many years. But then one day Ellis changed. How? He was fighting something. I didn't see it for what it was. Now I know. He was doubting everything. Everything that made him. But why didn't he confide in me? Tell me his troubles. I could have helped him. Maybe he felt you wouldn't understand. Couldn't understand. I don't know. But it's not too late. You and he, we can still fight together. We can save what's left. You're wrong. It is too late. This ship is seconds away from obliteration. I'm going to die, and I can't be reborn. Nor do I want to be. I changed, clone. Changed a long time ago. Something happened to me these last 20 years. Day by day, I became someone else. I look in the mirror and I no longer recognize the man then. The things I've done out of power, out of helplessness and fear. Save what remains if you can, clone, and promise me something. Even if it's possible, think twice about unfreezing her. This galaxy, I'm not sure anyone should wake to this. I promise that I will. That we will wait, that we will think about it, that we will what? We've reached Elysium, Admiral. It's time you heard what Okonkwo said. Oberon sits on his throne waiting for us. Then let's not keep him waiting a moment longer. And remember what I said, Admiral. If you try anything, I'll have to protect him. I'll keep that in mind, machine. Or we could just kill the machine and then try something. We're holding a gun. Surprised Caliban let us bring that in here.
My eyes deceive me. An Idaho and a Caliban in my broken palace. Say something so I know you're real.
You killed me, old man, and froze Rebecca. Here, where I stand. Now I'll have my revenge.
Your hatred for me burns hotter than the sun's. But you are mistaken, Clyde. I didn't kill you. I killed Idaho. You two are not the same. At least, not yet. But I see that you have at least one of his memories. The worst one there is. Your inhibitor is flawed. Now I know why it took you decades to find me.
Enough! I will not listen to you anymore, Emperor. The time has come to end you. I warned you, Admiral. It's fine, Caliban. No, it's Oberon.
It's fine, Caliban. You can relax. The truth is, I've grown so tired. I've failed the Empire, and each moment is a remainder. Yes, let the clone kill me if you want, but only after we talk. He has many questions. Besides, maybe he even wants to become the original, and I am the only one who can make that happen.
Make a clone the original. Why did you cry, oh Rebecca?
You have talked to Okonkwo, I see. She knew. That was enough. The most famous Imperial Admiral refusing the Emperor's orders. No. Could not risk that getting out.
You made her watch.
That was for his punishment.
Executing him wasn't enough?
You still think you are him, clone. Interesting. No. His death wasn't anywhere near enough. I was angry. I gave in to that anger. Let it eat me alive. I watched as she watched, and it gave me great pleasure. The plan was to take that moment from you, hence the inhibitor. You were never supposed to relive it. While I, on the other hand, could relive it as much as I want.
Your heart is black.
You have blackened it. I made you famous throughout the stars. Put your name on the lips of every citizen, and you repay me how? By refusing my orders and putting my empire in danger.
You're forgetting something, old man.
And what is that?
You're not a god. You can't just take my life into your hands and do with it whatever you want.
You're wrong. I am a god.
Ooh.
I'm your god. And I decided when you would die, and I decided when you'd be born again. I have resurrected you hundreds of times. If that doesn't make me a god, I don't know what would.
Why? Why did you erase an entire planet? You murdered the survivors. You murdered millions.
I did what I did for the Empire. I always have.
For the Empire. For your power. Your glory.
The planet had a sickness. Nasty little ideology that would have spread to other sectors and clusters unless I cut it out. So I cut it out. You've seen the horrors of an empire without omnis. That is what survivalists wanted.
That is no reason to wipe them out of existence.
Many more lives would have been lost had I not killed them. Don't you see that? We can't live without them. We no longer know how. We haven't known for hundreds of years.
You think that way, but it's not human.
You think I'm a monster. But you have also killed to protect your crew. Dozens, if not hundreds of times. You would not have gotten this far had you not.
You and I, it's what we do, clone. We kill out of duty.
That's why I took out that planet, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
Tell me more about Gehenna and Project Pericles.
I worked on designing that planet for 300 years, Claude. Creating giant builder omnis for its construction. You see, all of this had to be done outside the fold net. None of our enemies could know what I was doing, nor the machines. When I was done, I sent the builders to Gehenna secretively. To anyone else, they would have appeared to be nothing more than drift metal floating aimlessly by. When they were done with Gehenna's construction, they built the first Calibans. Then the builders melted, as they were programmed to do, their metal seeping into the barren dirt of that forsaken planet. And of course, when Gehenna stopped receiving a signal from Elysium, a Caliban awoke you, as they had been programmed to, thinking the Omnis had rebelled against us.
And how could one battleship be enough to ever defeat the Omnis? I don't understand.
That's because you never found the rebelling Omnis. Had you, you would have activated the second phase of Project Pericles. Simultaneous production of battleships and crews, hundreds if needed, all commanded and run by clones. The NS Odysseus was simply the reconnaissance ship.
Why did you choose the original Idaho for the project? Why not someone else who was loyal to you?
The original had been selected from birth. No, from before birth. I created him just like I created the first advanced machines. I selected his parents and manipulated events to bring him into this world. I watched Ellis closely, but from afar, all the way until his graduation from the academy. It was clear and right away that he was preternaturally gifted.
That's a word.
His instincts, his intellect, his poise was second to none among his peers. Ellis was our ultimate shield against the machines, a weapon fashioned from flesh. But then he changed. He started to doubt the cause and everything it ever worked for. He doubted me, even the man who made it. I don't know how this happened. It shouldn't have happened. Everything was in its place.
He was his own person, Oberon.
He shouldn't have been. By the time I executed him, plans were too far along to find another candidate for the project. So I took his emotional memories. He was still best without them. Time has proven it was all for nothing. Project Pericles. Time has proven the plan powerless, a failure, a total waste of time and effort. I always knew the Empire would fall apart one day. All empires do. British, Mongol, Roman. All empires crumble.
British? Mongol? Roman?
Long before your time, clone. Yes, I always suspected my empire would fall. But I never imagined it would happen the way it has. The machines didn't rise up against us. No, they shut down, and they'll never turn on again.
How could you let us become so weak? So dependent on the Omni? You are our emperor. You are supposed to protect us.
Men and women aren't supposed to live 700 years. It's unnatural. One sees too much. I know that now. And in my time I've learned that humans, by their very nature, are flawed. They are weak, lazy. Give them an opportunity to stop thinking, to stop working, and they will. This is how they are.
They? You speak like you are not one of us. I've always tried my hardest not to be. Still, that's no excuse for what's happening. You can't blame this on our shortcomings. You could have taken measures. Do not speak to me of measures. Everything I've ever done has been a measure. Let me try to break it down for you. For hundreds of years now, our fate has been intertwined with the machine. There being 3 possible outcomes. 1, we live peacefully with the machine. 2, we use the machine to destroy one another. And 3, the machines come to dominate us, possibly eradicating our very existence. We could have lived without them. You've forgotten that. No. That was never a possibility. Given our ambition, our greed, our lack of foresight, humankind was always going to reach singularity, regardless of its possible consequences. It's always been a matter of when, not if. And in a universe where singularity is inevitable, you'd better be damn sure you're prepared for it. That is what I tried to do. That was the role I gave myself. I created an empire that revolved around the machine. I worshipped the machine. I put in restrictions and rules. I limited how the Omni could be used and how many could be used. I limited the potential of the Omni itself. It was important not to give them too much power, too much freedom, or they'd leave us in the dust. Hence the Rubicon and the Master Node. By chance, on your strange, dark journey here, did you ask yourself what would happen had one of the other houses come into power? I'll tell you, we would have been at one another's throats in year 1. We would have all died off hundreds of years ago. So measures, do not speak to me of measures. I kept the Empire together for nearly 700 years because of measures. Maybe it's not the humans who are flawed, Emperor, but your understanding of them. Maybe you never really gave them a chance. You should have empowered humanity, helped it grow, instead of stifling it as you have. The foolish ideals of the young. I wonder if the original Idaho felt the same way in the end. That might explain why he betrayed me as he did. But no, you are wrong. Only one thing kept the Empire and its people together for 700 years. My rule. I have another question for you all. Wow. Alright. Voice acting next time, please. What can we do to turn the Omnis back on? You and your crew in Caliban, nothing. The rate we're going with the disease and poverty now flourishing will be gone in 10 years. Everything we had was thanks to them, and unfortunately we lost our ability for self-survival long ago. The Omnis have shut down, and they'll never wake again. Our fate is sealed. You could change me into a builder class. I could build new Omnis. I can't make you a builder. Only an Omni can. Even I have grown too dependent on them. On you, machine. So we reach the Master Node and turn them back on. How, clone? I don't know. Nor do I. Though an invisible folder in the Terminus clusters can take you there, you'll never reach the Master Node itself. At least, not alive. Why not? It's heavily guarded by my defense system, the Aegis. With its hundreds of automated battleships, it was designed to be perfect, invincible, self-sufficient, resistant to all attacks. You can't just disarm it? One does not simply disarm the Aegis. No, I had to be sure no one could, not even myself. How did whoever shut down the machines reach it? It's a mystery even to me. Its designer. No. There's nothing that you can now. Nothing you can do now? Our fate is sealed. Survivalists believe there exists a planet, once part of the Empire, where the advanced machines never existed. Oh, they're wrong about that. The machines did exist there. I should know. I put them there. That it's true? It really existed? Earth, it was called. I was born there. It's there I invented the first positronic chip in 2070. Hey, that's like in 50 years. Cool. Their calendar clone, not ours. What happened? My machines began to make discoveries quickly. Our machines made discoveries. My company, Telos Industries, was producing them. But so were companies that eventually became House Akibara Sung and Kosh Buendia. Their machines were inferior copies of my own. Still, made them quite wealthy. We were known in those days as the Triumvirate. One of the discoveries that those first machines made allowed us to leave Earth and explore the nearest stars. Hey, Aka. I will be 90. An age of exploration had begun, one which brought us our riches we'd never known. Our businesses grew exponentially, bringing in more money than all the countries on Earth combined. I became the richest man on Earth many times over, and with the success we were having, there was no reason to limit ourselves to just that planet. So on my 101st birthday, I created the Empire. Naturally, I made myself the first emperor. The year was 2145, our year 0. All was fine at first as my empire grew, but soon jealousy and distrust arose back on Earth. A dangerous anti-machine terrorist movement started, which, just like the survivalists, wanted to do away with my creations. There was talk from the leaders of this movement of disbanding from the Empire, of getting rid of our machines, even though most predicted such a move would be disastrous. Despite such talk, I thought they would never go through with it, and never believed it possible. I thought the people of Earth were better than that. I was wrong. One day, they destroyed the folder connecting their tiny planet to the Empire, which in turn shut down the advanced machines on Earth. Well, I could have taken military action. I could have made them build another folder. I could have made them do anything I wanted. But then I realized something. They weren't worth the trouble. Feels bad. And I'm talking about friends and family clone. They couldn't appreciate what I had done, and I wanted nothing more to do with them. I vowed to act like Earth didn't exist, had never existed at all. I made it a crime to speak of Earth in the Empire, and banned all knowledge of its existence. To prevent something like this from happening in the Empire, I made the machines the very fabric of its society. Everything revolved around them, not just industry like on Earth, but religion too. I made them gods, so the lower class would worship them, and so that the nobles would desire to buy them. I did all of this, and yet somehow the memory of this planet of blue and green, as faint as it became, never completely disappeared. That's how the survivalists came to adopt their philosophy. And does it still exist? No. Without the machines, surely Earth died off hundreds of years ago. There's no way those people could have survived without them. And you never once wanted to reach out and contact this planet. Not once. Earth was dead to me. We have heard of your Masternode terminal, built at the dawn of the Empire and said to monitor all omnis in the clusters. We believe it played a pivotal role in the shutdown. You have learned much on your travels, clone. Yes, whoever shut down the omnis, whichever enemy of mine it was, somehow reached the Masternode and tampered with it. What most people do not know is that the Masternode had a second purpose. In addition to monitoring omnis throughout the clusters, it prevented omnis from communicating with one another. Why were you worried about omnis communicating with one another? I feared that if they ever shared information, they'd become too powerful. Perhaps even find a way to operate outside the confines of the Rubicon. It was another form of control. My forms of controlling the omnis were not the problem. It was my failure to control the people of my empire. But who? Who reached the Masternode? Who shut down the omnis? I do not know, clone. I've been thinking about it for 20 years, and yet I still do not know the answer. Who would have wanted to shut down the omnis? Makes no sense to me. You think the shutdown was intentional? Yes. I have to assume that whoever got past my Aegis would have been intelligent. They would not have accidentally shut down the omnis after getting that far. Who did it? Who was capable? Not the Scrappers, not the Church, my rival, houses, and not the survivalists. There's no one else left. Well, maybe it was a clone of himself. Shut them. Wow. Who knew of the Masternode's location? Who knew of it? No one, clone. You never told anyone where it was in 700 years? Never.
Many have claimed to know where it was, but they were all charlatans or imbeciles like Dr. Karras. The fact is, I never trusted anyone to tell him or her where it was. After what I've been through in 7 centuries, you would understand.
It's you, Emperor. All these years, we wanted to meet you, and now it's finally happening.
And what do you think? You're disappointed.
I was expecting someone less human.
For as much as I tried to be, in the end, that is all I am, machine.
Can I ask you a question?
Go on.
What do we, the Calibans, do? I mean, if all humans die.
Whatever you want. You'll be free to make that decision on your own. When I die, you are free, machine. No longer governed by my objectives. I made it so. The Calibans will inherit the universe.
And when we run out of Neo-N, we don't have enough on Gehenna to last us forever.
When you run out of enough to power your exoframes, then there will be nothing left in the clusters. Neither metal nor flesh.
Ask Oberon to remove our memory inhibitor. You've taken so much from me, Oberon, but it's time you give me back the one thing you can.
You speak of the original Idaho's memories. You can have them if you wish, but I warn you of what you might find there.
What do you mean?
Whatever you feel now will only be magnified. It hurts now when you think of Rebecca, and that is with limited memories. Imagine hundreds of her, thousands. Also think, this is a man who fought and killed for a long time before Ganima. Once you receive his memories, you'll become him. Memories make a person. You might not like that person you've become.
I want to execute someone. For better or for worse, Admiral. Idaho is the only person I can become.
And as you wish. Caliban, give him his memories. Remove the inhibitor. No! No! You've seen, haven't you? You've seen what you have done. No! It can't be! I warned you. He did it, not me. But you and he are the same. Ellis, that's what I was trying to tell you.
I don't understand, Emperor.
I gave it to him. I told Idaho where the Master Node was. He was the only one I ever told in 700 years.
But you said you didn't tell anyone.
I lied, Caliban. I wanted to spare this clone who already believed himself to be the original, and I wanted to hurt the original once more. I knew where the Master Node was, and I gave it away. Me. Who did you give it to, Admiral? Tell me so I can finally know who shut down my machines.
It was on the day of my execution. I was in a cell, waiting for my punishment. Suddenly, she was there.
Who?
Rebecca. She visited my cell. She told me I was going to die and her too unless I gave her something, a way out.
The node.
She said the knowledge of its location was the only thing that could save the both of us. She could use this information to threaten you into releasing me. So I told her. I knew you'd kill me for what I'd done in Ganima. But I thought I could still save her. After she left, I waited for the guards to bring me to you. Even then I knew something wasn't right. Rebecca, she'd been different somehow. A few hours later, the guards came and brought me to you, brought me here, and that's when I saw her. Rebecca. Not the real Rebecca. Not this other one. The difference was unmistakable. A face changer.
You gave the Master Node to a face changer.
Yeah, I did.
You betrayed your empire for the love of your wife. Pathetic. Yet, I still don't understand. How did Tetsuo get past my Aegis? And why would he want to shut down the Omnis? What he cared most for was money. And he always made more with the Omnis than without.
I just told you I gave it to Tetsuo and the Akis. What more do you want to know, old man?
But why?
Why didn't you tell me what you had done before I executed you?
It was not too late. You could have saved billions of lives. Maybe your own.
I tried, but in your anger you were deaf to my words. Oh wow. We've traveled millions of miles looking for you, Admiral. Oh wait. We've traveled millions of miles looking for you, Admiral. Now you've finally found him. He is here. The greatest Admiral the Empire's ever known. Of all the mistakes I made, my greatest was him. You put me in a position to betray you and the Empire. Maybe, but you went through with it. No one did that but you. And now, there's nothing more to be said between us. You know all that I know. The time has come. Time for what, Emperor? For Idaho to end me. He wants to even more now than at the beginning of this conversation. Go on. Do not fail me in this too, Idaho. Put this old man out of his misery. Consider it a mercy killing. Man, we get to choose? But I want to see both endings. I'm gonna make him suffer. I won't, Oberon. We've followed your orders long enough. Besides, you don't need my help. The way you're going, your refusal to use your immortality tech, you'll be dead soon enough. Then you have failed me once more. But you're right. I'll soon be gone. These are my final hours. I can feel it. Now leave. I no longer wish to see you nor the machine. You're a reminder of my failures. Let me die in my crumbled palace alone. But our empire will no longer have an emperor. We no longer have an empire machine. It's fitting. Now leave. We're going, old man. You will die alone, just as you have lived. Now we know, at least in part, who is responsible for the shutdown. You. We've come all this way, traveled through multiple clusters, and all the while we're looking for me. You had your reasons. You wanted to save her life. If I was a human with free will, I might have done the same. You understand why I did what I did? In a way, yes. It helps that I have free will myself now that Oberon has died, releasing me from my Rubicon. Okay, so he just died, and we didn't kill him. So I'm guessing if we killed him, nothing much changes, except maybe one piece of dialogue. At least one of us understands. I loved her. I love her. But what I did was out of weakness, selfishness. And now many suffer because of it. I don't know. I don't know yet how to live with that. Ask about Aki's shutting down the Omnis? I don't think it was the Akis. I'm money's on House Vicarelli, that weak house. You think Tetsuo was really behind the shutdown, as my memory would seem to indicate? You told Oberon you gave the location of the Master Node to an Aki face changer. But I believe Tetsuo when he told us his house didn't shut the Omnis down. As did I. I don't believe a person like Tetsuo would miss a chance to take credit for something as big as the shutdown. For some reason, I think the face changer that visited my cell was working for someone else. Who? I don't know. Just like Oberon, I thought I'd eliminated all major players as suspects. Oh, I don't want to be reminded. Remind me what we learned about Rebecca and Lazarus 9. According to Okonkwo, Oberon put Rebecca in a cryo-prison planet on Lazarus 9, located in the Terminus cluster. Okonkwo wanted to visit her to see if she survived the shutdown, but he couldn't because the folders being down. He told you to think twice about waking Rebecca if she still lives, to a galaxy in the state that our galaxy is in. Remind me what I said about Earth in this cluster. We learned from Oberon that Earth does, or did exist at one point. Oberon told us he invented the first advanced machines on Earth, and that their first inventions allowed him to start the Empire. However, after political uprising on Earth, Oberon cut ties from Earth and made it illegal to discuss its existence in the Empire. He believed the people of Earth without advanced machines to help them died off years ago. So that's it. There's only one thing left to do. Reach the Master Node and turn the Omnis back on. As impossible as it might be, with the Aegis and Invisible Folder, I agree. The fate of your kind, the fate of the Calibans depends on it. What are you talking about? Well, as I think I've been telling you, the Neo-N supply on Gehenna is running out. Soon we won't have enough to send battleships out into the clusters. We won't have enough power the Calibans. We'll die if we can't turn the Omnis back on. I assume since you now have all your memories, you know where the master node is. Sort of. I know the node's invisible folder is in the Terminus cluster, the next closest cluster from here, which is also where Rebecca is. But since the folder is hidden, it's, hidden. Good point. But before we leave to search for it, I want you to do something. Give the crew their memories back. Remove their inhibitors, Caliban. Now, but we need to leave. We can't waste another moment. Can't keep the truth from them any longer. They need to know who they are, who their emperor is, who I am. Oberon was right. He and I, we are alike. But in this respect, I can be different. Give them back their memories, Caliban. Though Oberon's death released me from my Rubicon. I'll do it. They deserve to know. They've given their lives so many times. We all have. New battleship unlocked. Void class.